That is the Victorian border sign. You can probably tell what this episode is going to be about. Touring Victoria with a difference. You're probably thinking, all right, Victoria, you got the high country, Talangi State Forest, and freezing weather. And yes, that's true. But we are going to be tackling, first up, some of the Victorian coastline. Heading down to Malakuta, Lakes Entrance, down all the way to Phillip Island, then heading inland from there. We've got a couple of dogs in the car, the big 79 on tour. I can't wait to do this. Let's get into it. Well, who would have thought you'd come adventuring in Victoria for the beaches? But we did, and here we are. Our first stop, Pebbly Beach. We have timed it terribly, and it stinks. The tides obviously just dropped a heap of seaweed or some kind of feces on the beach, and not great. So we probably won't swim here, but it is truly beautiful. The water is just as clear here as it was on the New South Wales South Coast, albeit a lot smellier. I don't know if we'll swim here. We might take the dogs for a bit of an explore and then jump back in the car and show you guys our stunning camp, which is right on the water as well. Nice, man. Well, it's blowing a gale and it's freezing cold, which means we're venturing further into Victoria. I don't know how you guys do it. It's terrible. But anyway, I'm here to try and show you the hidden gems, and that's what we're gonna do. We have just cruised down to Petman's Beach Campground. Over that dune right there is Petman's Beach, and over here is the 79 set up for the night. This is actually a really sick little spot that Ree found on Wikicamp. So a little bit about this is obviously there's a massive surf beach right there with stunning fishing. This right here is a free camp, but one thing that's worth mentioning is, well, two things. The first is it's dog friendly, which is cool. Obviously keep them on a lead and all that sort of thing. But the second thing is that this is a Parks Vic spot, which roughly translates to us as they've baited the out of it with dog poison. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. We'll have the dogs here with us, but we're going to be keeping them on a really short lead to protect them, because you just don't know what is actually out in the bush and that sort of thing to control the feral dogs that are all through here. So fingers crossed it's sweet. Heaps of kangaroos, and absolutely stunning little spot actually. And Ree's already walked down to the beach. Apparently it's blowing a gale on the beach, but it's not too bad at camp. So hopefully we'll be a little bit protected tonight as well. Yeah. But let's hit the beach. Show these idiots what we got. Okay, we left our camp this morning and found this little cove. I'll show you on the drone. But the most clear, still, pristine water in here. And then just outside the heads is a raging ocean. Can you for a swim?
Yep.
Same, man. Now, the last time I spoke to you guys, we were a little bit further up the Victorian coast, but we've made our way down ever closer to Melbourne. We stopped over in Lakes Entrance for a couple of days, waiting for something to get delivered in the post, which was actually pretty damn quick, thankfully, from Automotive Superstore. I'm saying this because we've had our first little, not hiccup, not even mechanical drama, but first thing that needs addressing on the 79 series, so we're about to deal with that here. We're currently at Eagle Point Foreshore. It's a caravan park. It's actually a stunning part of the world. We're camped right there and the water is right there. Once we get the 79 series checked out, fixed up, tomorrow I'm going to be able to take you guys to an island that I guarantee you've never heard of before, and hopefully show you guys an insane number of koalas in their natural habitat, because this island, well, it's not overly popular and is the home of a koala sanctuary. So I'm pretty bloody keen about that. We've spent a little bit of time in Lakes Entrance. We've made our way down south. We have now got to put some Ks under our belt, but I can't wait for that tomorrow. First up, let me swap to a camera that's a little bit easier to hold, and we'll see if we can't fix this thing. In someone's infinite wisdom, they've routed the entire 12-volt accessory loom over the top of where I need to go. So get that out of the fucking way. I also dropped the bolt. Nice, man. There's good news and bad news. Good news is all this A is wiring out of the way and can now get to a filter. The bad news is I dropped a bolt somewhere and cannot find it, which means this thing, when we start it, is going to piss diesel out every orifice. So I don't know how we're going to rectify that just yet, but anyway. Here is what hides underneath that top part. So the plan is to get this little dog out. It is quite smelly, but I don't know if you can see that, but it is, that filter element is white generally. So this has definitely picked up some shit in its time. So probably needed replacing, that's for sure. Also a good tip is to make sure, like, pull your filter out, set it aside like I just did, and make sure that it's the correct one. The easiest way to do it, I find, is by putting them side by side, checking the dimensions and stuff, eyeballing it, because you can get stitched up. We're just drained, this is from the pre-filter, so it's done its job, worth having. I know it's a contentious topic, but it has saved probably a thimble's worth of water from going through the fuel system. So, you know, would it have done much damage? I don't know. Is it nice to have it out of the system? Yeah, it really is. I still can't find the bolt I dropped, so that's fucking heaps good. What the plan will now be is I'm going to search this Toyota high and low for a bolt that will fit. Now that that's drained and this is replaced, we can pump that petcock. We're going to do the sensor cycling and clear the code on the dash, and then we should be good to go. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED talk. Also, if you guys want to cop anything from Automotive Superstore, I've got a discount code, Naughty40. I'll put it on screen here, but yeah, give you a little discount off all your orders and whatnot. Just make sure you've got an account set up on the website and get those discounts going. Well, how stunning is this place? Welcome to Raymond Island. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I'd never heard of this place either, and I don't reckon you guys would have either. And the way it got its name is actually a pretty funny story. Raymond Island was settled in the 1840s, but not by anyone overly interesting. A New South Wales magistrate by the name of William Odell Raymond actually squatted on the island illegally, and I guess therefore was the original inhabitant, and after a couple of years it became Raymond Island and has remained Raymond Island to this day. Now, Raymond Island has a population of under 600 people, but way more interestingly, it is a sanctuary, a safe haven for kangaroos, koalas, echidnas, dolphins, and bird life. I think this is definitely one that's got to go on your bucket list. We're about to get the dogs out because Raymond Island is dog friendly, which is nice. Do a little bit of exploring and see if we can't spot some nature. So let's do it. Don't want to alarm anyone, but we've seen our first koala. Let me flip this and show you. Big ball of chlamydia. It's actually going to be very hard to film a koala because the light is so bright behind them. But there's our first one. It's pretty good. We're what, 400 meters into the track? Nice, man. We're gonna have to start to head off shortly, plus we've got a campsite to get to before dark, and then tomorrow we've got a massive day. We're gonna go have a look at 90 Mile Beach, which has been on my bucket list for a long, long time. So we're gonna finish up walking this little section here, head back to the car, head back to the mainland. I think the basic gist of this is definitely come over to Raymond Island. It's pretty much the best way you can spend 15 bucks and feels like you could walk all day, even days and days, and just look up and see a stack of wildlife. What a spot. Now earlier I was saying that we were going to head to 90 Mile Beach, and we did actually go and have a look at 90 Mile Beach, and all the campsites that allow dogs were very busy. So we ended up actually finding a little track that cut us through to Spoon Point or Spoon Bay, something like that. And it's freaking beautiful, way quieter, which is sick, dog friendly. There's a drop toilet all the way back there at the entry to the campsite. The water's just over here, and I think it'll be a little bit more sheltered over here than it would be at 90 Mile Beach, because obviously that's the beach and this is on the other side of that sort of peninsula. So we're just going to set up camp now, I think, and chill out. There's a couple of cool things that are going on right behind me. The big body of water out there is the ocean, the Bass Strait. And the body of water closest to us is the Snowy River. The Snowy River obviously runs from the peaks of Mount Kosciuszko in New South Wales, runs through towns like Jindabyne, Orbost, and of course Marlow, and ends up dumping its guts into the Bass Strait right here. That is an absolute insane journey to think about. Over 350 k's of traveling that water has got to do the length of the river. And to know that it's sort of alpine water that flows its way all the way down here into the ocean, well, it makes a little bit more sense why every piece of water we've swum in around here is freaking freezing, man, but insane to think about. Well, we've made it to 90 Mile Beach, and almost as the name suggests, it's bloody long, cold and treacherous. Now, 90 Mile Beach, a little bit of false advertising by the Victorian government here, actually 94 miles long, 151 k's. And if you're anything like me, you probably thought, this has got to be the longest beach in Australia, but you'd be fucking wrong. The Coorong has got us beat. That's 190 something k's long. So yeah, it doesn't even have that accolade. But what it does have is 151 kilometers of unspoiled, pristine coastline. Given that it's about 20 degrees today, we're not going to be swimming. We're going to head on to the next spot. But if you're cruising down this way, definitely worth a look, because I have not seen this much unspoiled beach in my life. Very cool. Definitely one of the longest beaches in Australia. And dog friendly if you keep them on the lead, so that's cool. So we've been rally packing through the Victorian coastline and we've seen some stunning things. Where we were last night was Port Welshpool Long Jetty. Now, as the name suggests, it's a freaking long jetty. Now it was built, I believe, in the 30s and was long, over 800 meters long. It then got closed in 2003 because of its deteriorating condition, and then was remade in basically an exact replica but modernized. It's 870 meters long, attracts hundreds of visitors per day in the summer peak season, and is dead flat and gives you a beautiful view of Welshpool Port. If you're a little bit fitspo like us, it's a perfect spot to run as well. We did cut some laps. Obviously 1.6k return trip means it's very easy to monitor how far you've gone. We've just cruised down to Agnes Falls, which is a beautiful spot. You can park your car down here. It's a couple 100-meter walk and you're met with some beautiful scenery, waterfalls, and the drive in and out of here is stunning farmland, beautiful countryside, which you'll no doubt be seeing at the moment. This afternoon we're going to be cruising down to Phillip Island, home of the MotoGP. Sadly it's not on at the moment, but one day we'll get back here for the MotoGP, and that is meant to have a stack of really cool marine life penguins and that sort of thing. So that's where we're going to be staying tonight and ending our trip. We've got a lot of cool videos coming up on the channel as well that we're going to be filming down here in Melbourne. So see you when I'm looking at you.